Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome back to another of our F1 Manager 23 race replays. Yesterday we returned here to the Jeddah Corniche. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live a couple of days ago where we went back to Sakhir and completed the Williams Race Moment Challenge, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But yeah, today though we head to Jeddah. We've got a 15 lap challenge in the Alpha Tauri car, and it is the Arabian Night there. So safety car early in the race has brought everyone to the pits. With 15 laps to go, Yuki Tsunoda is holding Magnussen at bay for 10th place with fresher tyres at his disposal. Can you mount a stoic defence and defend a precious World Championship point for Alpha Tauri? Sounds like good fun. Of course, you know, we want to try and go through and get as many of these challenges complete as we can. So of course, if you're new around here and you do want to enjoy, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed there. So yeah, the goal, finish higher than 11th place. We'll have a bit of a look then. Albon and Lance Stroll out of the Grand Prix. Magnussen is, yeah, a little way behind there. For some reason, we were starting with Nick de Vries for whatever reason. But Perez leading the way, of course, ahead of Max Verstappen. Of course, obviously, all these are based on the real-world data from roughly where the cars were on the real-life circuit. But yeah, hopefully, of course, we're going to be able to keep it clean and tidy throughout this challenge. We haven't... Well, actually, we'll find out, obviously, very quickly, won't we? We've got a little bit in the way of spare fuel. So, of course, the first goal, I'm sure, will just be trying to keep Magnussen at bay for a little period there. You can see his tyre wear about 10% lower than our own. So, honestly, looking at it, could actually be worth it to gamble onto a set of softs before the end of the race. Of course, no chance of wet weather or anything like that, so we certainly don't have to worry about all those kind of things as well. But yeah, we'll get Yuki Tsunoda obviously just try and push on, or is it going to be worth letting Magnussen by here and obviously potentially then just sitting in his DRS for a few laps, obviously saving some battery late on in the afternoon. Like I said, it could be potentially worth obviously boxing in onto a set of the soft compound tyres there and trying to absolutely fly through these final few laps, because obviously we know just how overpowered that can be, both, actually weirdly enough, inside both F1 23 and F1 Manager 23. As here comes Magnussen then instantly trying to have a look down the inside. No, backside of it there. So we'll be able to defend the position for now, but yeah, just fast forwarding though, you can see that Haas car very, very quick down the straight. So yeah, Tsunoda is going to lose the place at the moment, but of course, yeah, really it's just going to be one of those challenges, I think, of course, of just trying to make sure that we stick with him. Okay, Tsunoda clearly very not happy with him there, as here we go back around the outside in towards the first corner. Surely we're not going to be able to hook it up. Yuki Tsunoda being very, very aggressive, but we know what Kevin Magnussen can be like. There is Logan Sargent. New fastest lap of the day for Logan Sargent. It's not something we see often, but apparently we're going to today. They're in Lando Norris as well, even further back, setting a new fastest lap of the day then. But, I mean, yeah, we've already lost 1.3 seconds to K-Mag, so we're actually going to have to try and push back on again. So we're going to have to work a little harder here than I'd originally anticipated on trying to stay close to Magnussen towards the end of the afternoon. That gap now up to 1.5, but hopefully we'll bring it back under the 1 second mark ASAP, as we're already running down on battery. This is actually a lot more difficult than I thought it would be early on at the moment. Yeah, Magnussen clearly actually with some good pace in the car. Is it worth a gamble onto a set of the soft compound tyres here late on in the day? I mean, I think, yeah, we'd re-emerge right at the back of the field, but we're just losing a lot of time to Kevin at the moment. I don't think there's really anything else we can tell Yuki to do. I don't even think... Oh, no, we have got a couple of sets of the soft compound tyres, but we're gonna try and make him go a bit more aggressive on the overtaking. Let's see, of course, if he can fight with the car in front again. But yeah, Magnussen is just bolting away at the moment, so maybe this is going to come down to really hoping that his tyres fall off late on in the stint. But of course we know the AlphaTauri is obviously really, really weak in this game there, and that gap is just continuing to rise at the moment. So I don't know if we're just taking too much out of the tyres or what, but Magnussen is seemingly just pulling away from us here. 10 laps to go of the Grand Prix. We've still definitely got a lot better tyre life, but I mean, are Magnussen's tyres going to fall off towards the end of this? Surely, you know, we've got to hope for something to happen, haven't we? To Kevin Magnussen's car, as 3 seconds now that gap opens up to. Starting to flow. And here we go now, starting to go the right way again. It keeps ebbing and flowing at the moment. This is actually a really, really difficult challenge here. I think, yeah, we are kind of relying on Magnussen's tyres to fall off right towards the end of this thing. And yeah, the gap's still floating around that 3 second mark. Now we're even on the fuel, so we can't even utilise that anymore.
Lift off to avoid instability.
But surely, I mean, Magnussen, his tyres down to 56%, so he's not really going to hit the cliff with them either, is he? Late on in the afternoon. I think this one's going to take a lot more micromanagement than I'd ever really anticipated, but we'll wait and see what happens. Yeah, are we going to see Magnussen's tyres fall off right towards the end of the race? Doesn't really look like they are here, so what we might have to do, of course, yeah, that gap now up to 4 seconds here. So Magnussen clearly has got some very, very good pace in the car. We might have to try a couple of different things out then with this challenge, actually. Might be worth, like I said, what we'll try and do, we'll go back into it then and see, if I just pause it quickly, can we obviously have a look? Is there any way we can restart the challenge? There we go, restart scenario then. So first I've had to do that inside this game. But what I'm going to try and do then is gamble Tsunoda onto a set of the soft compounded tyres here once Magnussen has found a way past him. We won't bother using the push mode on the fuel just yet. We will try and see... Actually, what I'm going to try and do is, can we try and make defensive driving from him? Because I think, yeah, probably the best bet's going to be about 13 laps to go there. As you can see, Magnussen again then going to be able to get past us as we head down in towards the final couple of turns. We're going to put Tsunoda onto the high aggressive overtaking option as well there, but it's often the way that the defense actually on this game really does slow you down. So Tsunoda, here we go. We're going to try and put him onto high aggression when it comes to attack. As we head back down in towards the first corner, of course, we know if we don't gain the place on Kevin, we're going to pretty much lose out right the way through the S's here, which we have done once again then. So just seeing, of course, here, we just can't seem to hang inside his DRS at the moment. So we're going to try it. We're going to try and gamble him onto a set of the soft compound tyres here. That obviously is going to mean we're going to be very, very quick towards the end of the afternoon. But where are we going to re-emerge in the grand scheme of things here? We're going to be behind Nick de Vries here, but of course we should be at least 1, maybe 2 seconds a lap faster late on in the day as we head back down then out of the pit lane. We're going to be out behind Lando Norris as well. But I think we're going to just about keep the jump on Oscar Piastri there. So that's quite important then late on in the day, and let's just obviously go aggressive on the tyres here. So we're really monitoring the gap to Kevin Magnussen. So we're sat at 20 seconds then with 12 laps to go of the afternoon. Tsunoda is now pushing on, and you can see that gap's already come down by 2 seconds then. So let's just start managing this a little bit tighter and obviously see what we can do. Obviously, we want to try and make sure that de Vries gets out of the way as quickly as possible. So we'll tell him, don't fight your teammate, just jump out of the way as early and as sensibly as you can here. But yeah, we're really going to try and manage this then late on in the afternoon. Of course, claim all the DRS we possibly can of Nick, which we will. And we'll even get the DRS off the corner as well there. So it looks like now we're actually matching the pace of the race leaders here as, yeah, de Vries drops back even further off the rear of his teammate. But yeah, this is actually a really interesting challenge here. We need to go push mode on the fuel as well towards the end of this thing. But Magnussen is losing a bit more time now, so this is good to see. But again, I don't think, you know, we can keep trying to obviously utilise the DRS wherever we can, of course, on these other cars. I think we'll just about get it off of Lando Norris as well as we head down the back straight. Yes, we will. So we know into the second zone, of course, we can try and go for this again. But 10 laps to go. The gap to Magnussen, 15 seconds still. So we still need to be taking over a second a lap out of him late on in the day. But this one might actually be a lot better than the original strategy we'd mapped out there, is of course utilising all of these DRS zones as best as we can. And of course, again, we've got him on the aggression when it comes to the overtake. So there's probably an element of RNG in this now. Of course, that he's, you know, whether he's going to make a mistake trying to get around another car in front of him. As around the outside of Lando Norris will go. No, not quite able to do that. Tuck back into slipstream. Come on, Yuki, you've got to send it in towards turn 1. He's not sent it. You need to be getting past him. That's annoying. So actually, we'll go on the top up then through the first couple of corners. We'll calm the tyres back down again because, of course, we're not going to be able to do anything through these next few turns. And obviously, that just makes a big, big difference in the bigger picture, of course, late on in the day. Here we go, this time around. Surely this is going to be a done deal on Lando again. Just slotting in behind him. Lando Norris, actually, he is really defending this. So we'll go round the outside then through the next couple of corners there. And now we have finally completed that move on Lando, but he's going to have the DRS now as we head towards the final couple of corners, so surely he's not going to be able to get a run on us. Surely we can try and defend down in towards the final turn. 13 seconds, though, to Magnussen with 8 laps to go of the race. This gap is still definitely going the right direction at the moment, but is it going to be the way to go late on in the days? Again, we'll bring it back down to neutral. Hopefully Lando Norris once again isn't going to be able to get a run in towards that first corner, which it looks like he won't. So now we can just try and push on then up towards the next couple of cars here. 12 seconds now, that gap coming down to, and you can see, unfortunately, all over the back of Bottas, Zhou, Hulk, and Logan Sargent here. So again, we're going to have to get back on the deploy. But this is really where this race is going to be won or lost. You know, we need to try and get past all 3 of these cars ASAP here, and of course, no, this is going to be a lot of micromanagement here. Is to the outside of Valtteri Bottas. I think Bottas trying to defend it, which he will. But yeah, we need to try and get past all 3 of these cars where we can. So once again, we'll keep on the overtake, but of course, Bottas, you know, he's got the DRS as well here. So it's really just costing us all a lot of time as Hulkenberg can't find a way around Logan Sargent either. Go on, around the outside, that's beautiful. By Yuki Tsunoda then, trying to look around the outside of Valtteri out the final corner. We should be able to get good run as well on Hulkenberg. Come on, this could be a triple overtake. Don't slot back into the slipstream. We've got no ERS though, so we're going to have to go back on the top up, but we still need to try and make the move work. Just save some battery. Save some battery again through the first couple of corners, because we need to try and find a way. As we'll go back on the deploy then out onto the back straight, back on the push mode again on Nico Hulkenberg. Surely we can try and find a way around him. So we head down this back straight again. You can just see we get a fantastic run, but then just can't do anything with it here as Hulkenberg. Come on, he needs to find a way around Sargent as well. We're going to try and have a look around the outside of Hulk, which surely around the final corner we will. And surely now we can try and get a run on Logan Sargent as well then. That gap 12 seconds between us and Magnussen, but we've got 6 laps to do it. We've got no battery again though, so we are picking these cars off one by one. But it certainly is not enough at the moment, as again we're going to have to sit by yet another car as we get to the back straight. Deploy, push again. It's all just, you know, a lot of micromanagement at the moment. Surely Logan Sargent's not going to be able to do much. Just have to try and get him out onto this next DRS zone. And yeah, you can see Sargent again not really defending this one all too much there. So we're up another spot then. And I don't think Sargent, hopefully, is not going to be able to get the run on me. Back out of the final corner, of course, we're just going to have to keep defending as best as possible. But we've still got 12 seconds up to Kevin Magnussen, so we're really going to have to fly late on in the day there. As yeah, we may as well leave it on the push mode then. So last laps now, Magnussen a 33, we did a 31. There we go, that's 2 seconds out of him. 3-4 laps to go though. The tyres are starting to fall off here, but it looks like we've got, I mean, the tyre wear actually is horrendous on this set of the softs, but we're not going to be able to get close to Magnussen again, are we? 2 more laps to go. Looks like the leader's starting the final lap of the race there, and Magnussen, again, is going to have enough on us. What do we need to do here to try and win this thing? So I think we're starting to try and rely on a little bit of RNG then in this event, because what I need to do is actually try and keep Magnussen at bay for just a little bit longer here, and I think with 10 laps to go is when we're going to have to try and go on to the soft compound tyres. I do actually think the soft tyres are going to be the way to go. We just can't keep up with Magnussen if we stay out here on this set of the hards. That Haas car is just far too quick for us, but I mean, we can't even really utilise Nick de Vries in any possible way here as well. So here goes Kevin Magnussen once again, and we're going to have to sit defensive. And I mean, yeah, if we can just keep him at bay throughout a couple of laps, of course, you know, doesn't allow him to break free as best as possible. Look at that, he just gets straight past me. So we're going to have to try and instantly go back on the push again. We're going to have to go aggressive on the overtaking as well. So let's try and see if we can get a run back down the inside. Of course, this was usually where Magnussen was making the move happen there, as back down the inside will go. Well, we should have the DRS on him surely out of the final corner, so surely we can try and keep this as we head back down towards turn 1. So yeah, what we're going to have to try and do then is just, obviously, now we're ahead, just go back on the top up, save the tyres, save the fuel. Every single lap through this first sector, I think, is going to be the way to go. If we lose Magnussen through the first couple of turns, then that's when we have to pit onto a fresh set of the tyres there. But looks like Sargent and Hulkenberg as well actually running very, very quickly behind us. So Magnussen, kind of need to see him make moves here, don't we? Or not make moves whatsoever. As here goes Kevin Magnussen again then back down the inside. Who will get the DRS though? I think we will once again, so we can go deploy out of the final corner. And is this one really just going to be a race of insane amounts of management? It might end up being the case there, as to the inside again we'll switch Magnussen back in towards turn 1, and again we'll be down the inside, but this time round will we be able to hook it up there? Magnussen just so gets the car in front. You can see this is how difficult this is at the moment. You know, can we just try and hang with him? We'll actually be down the inside through the next couple of corners. But again, we'll have to back out of it. Just try and see if we can keep within the 1 second zone of that Haas car. I mean, could we even get to a point where we drag Sargent and Hulk into this battle there, and then we pit onto a fresh set of the tyres as well, of course, and try and close up to all of them in one big gaggle here. We'll go neutral on the fuel again, obviously, as we get the DRS once more. Of course, just drag us along through these final couple of corners, as yeah, top car's already running down in the 1 minute 30s there. But Magnussen, again, you can just see how much speed he's able to carry out of those final couple of corners. And again, it just doesn't look like we can get close to him. We're not saving... sorry, we're on neutral on the battery again. We're still trying to use a bit of the fuel. But yeah, unless we can just hang with him through these first couple of turns, which it just doesn't look like is possible, we're really in trouble here. We just can't find a way around that Haas car. But this is, you know, one of the fun things, of course, inside F1 Manager is, of course, all the strategizing and everything like that. We'll actually try and go full attack mode on the tyres here, just see if we can get back within that range as best as we can, as we're just floating around. I think we have once again stayed within that range, so we will keep gaining on him at the moment. Of course, now it's just a question of trying to not lose sight of Magnussen over these next couple of laps here, because yeah, what I'm going to do is lap 40, I'm going to try and dive in onto a fresh set of the tyres there. May as well just take a couple of laps out of this set, really absolutely destroy them. But yeah, I just can't figure out a way that we just lose so much through the twisty bits on this lap that we just can't hang close to him. As you can see, the gap floats around 7/8 tenths of a second. That time around, we've actually been able to keep it a little bit closer, but of course we're shredding the tyres at the moment. So we'll bring them back down, obviously try and keep the tyres in a good operating window. But 10 laps to go. Do we gamble it? I mean, we've done pretty well off this restart, of course, to try and stay as close to him as we have. Of course, we know as well the tyres won't fall off this time round, but, you know, is there any possible way that we can try and obviously get a run on Magnussen back down in towards turn 1 again? I mean, like I said, it's just about trying to keep him close, isn't it, at the moment? As out of the final corner we'll go once again. We're not really saving up any ERS either at the moment, we just can't afford to. As we'll try and just stay with him again. You can see he's having to save a little bit as well there, so we'll try through the first couple of corners, use the anti-deploy as best as we can. But you can just see we're going to probably lose quite a bit through these first couple of turns. Yeah, you can just see it opens up to about 6-7 tenths of a second again, but looks like we've saved enough that time round, as we'll try and keep, you know, it's all about just trying to stay within the 1 second at the moment there. Again, Magnussen, you can just see occasionally you'll get a mega run out of that corner, but seems at the moment like he's not able to. I think, again, obviously, we know this time around we won't actually get the DRS on him should be able just to get back within the range, though, again, as we head out onto the second of the straight. But clearly it's all about just obviously trying to attack on the tyres, and then obviously just letting off them again, you know, once you're within that range. So it is just absolutely one of those races of micromanagement as we get back down in towards that first corner. You know, but I think the thing is, of course, you know, how long from the end do we then suddenly obviously have to really, really push on? As this time around we've been able to stay a whole lot closer. So definitely seems to be an element of RNG involved as well. Obviously, of just the AI not, obviously, you know, getting the run that they need, or Sonoda making, say, a small mistake or something like that. But again, this time around we're actually a lot closer as we head out of the final corner. But still not able to really save the battery at the moment. I want to try and ideally have a full charge with just a couple of laps to go of the race. As we're actually going to look around the outside of Magnussen back in towards turn 1. Are we going to find an opening, though? We've told him, obviously, to go aggressive on the tyres. So what we can do if we get round him, of course, is just save the fuel, save the tyres. But again, we're not going to be able to, just because we haven't got the drive off of turn 1. So that's fine, Yuki. That's fine at the moment. I think what we'll do is we'll put him back onto neutral there, so we don't, you know, if he gets frustrated that the overtakes keep failing, then we're going to be in even bigger trouble late on in the day. So we'll just try and keep him where he's at the moment. Then you can see again, of course, staying now within that DRS range as we make our way out of the final corner. You can see again, very close. So now we don't have to worry about saving ERS towards the end. We've done everything we can with that. It's just, of course, when do we try and mount the challenge? We've actually gone round him already then, side by side through the first couple of corners. Yuki Tsunoda down the inside of Kevin Magnussen, and this is really a fantastic showcase of just the little management things you need to do on this game if you really want to just eke out those extra little bits of performance here. Magnussen, though, back down the inside. I'm not too worried at the moment if he completes the move, because I'm guessing his defense and his overtake is absolutely welded on inside this game there. Tsunoda just losing a little bit of confidence in the process, but that's not too much of a concern. As, yeah, Magnussen once again will be able to stick with him again. But of course, yeah, really what we're trying to do at the moment is just stay within that DRS range, of course, just to make sure that with, 2-3 laps to go, as again, we've actually completed the move here. So I don't really feel like I'm doing much too differently to what we've done on the other attempts. But 3 laps to go then of this race. When do we... I think what we're going to have to do is see if we're still ahead down at turn 1, and then we're just going to have to go full out push for like the final couple of laps here, of course, just to try and make sure that obviously if we can get Magnussen out of the DRS range, that would be absolutely beautiful here. As Magnussen back down the inside, I think we've got the DRS though off him out of the final corner, so we're going to go full push, full deploy, everything like that. Give it everything, Yuki, at the moment as we get out of the final corner. High aggression on the overtake again. And if we can't do anything in towards turn 1, then we'll obviously cool it back down once again there. And no, looks like this time around not able to make it happen. 3 laps to go though. And yeah, Magnussen once again will just hang on in front of us at the moment. But this is where we're going to have to try and set ourselves up here. Sergio Perez, of course, we know is going to win this race. I don't believe there's any RNG surrounding, of course, whether, like, if an AI had a mechanical failure or something like that late on in the day. I think it's only really the drivers around you, obviously, that you can affect here. Is out of the final corner. We've got to go for it, Yuki. We need to make it happen as we head into the DRS zone down the start-finish straight to the outside. We'll go once again. Are we going to be able to get around in this time around? It looks like we will. So now we've got to try and go full deploy through the first couple of corners here and just see if we can open up the gap as well that we need. Tyre life should be fine. As you can see instantly there, 6/10 open up over Kevin Magnussen. That is absolutely beautiful as we make our way through the first couple of corners. And yeah, we really have taken Magnussen by surprise there, going full out attack mode. Has worked out wonderfully for us. 1.3 seconds. I mean, we've got fuel to the end. We've got tyres to the end. They might start overheating. The only thing I'm really concerned about, of course, is going to be the battery. But 1.8 seconds here. I reckon this is going to be the run. I think now we might just about done enough here. We can leave the fuel on push mode there. But 2 seconds now to Kevin Magnussen behind us. That gap might start coming down slightly. But it took us a couple of attempts. But it looks like now we might just be able to get this challenge done then. Is on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. Yuki Tsunoda here. It really, yeah, this has been a fun little challenge on micromanagement. But Perez, is going to take the dub. And it really goes to show, you know, all the little nuances and things you need to learn on this game. But in towards the final couple of corners then, it took us 3 tries. It's the first one we haven't actually completed first time on this game there. But round in the final corner, we are going to complete the Saudi Arabian GP challenge there. Yuki Tsunoda's going to pick up a point for AlphaTauri as well there. That was really good fun, actually. You know, it took a little bit, of the brain power to try and make sure that we got that one done and dusted there, but very, very happy with the final challenge result. And of course, again, we'll pick up a nice trophy.
Yuki Tsunoda makes his way back after the events of that race.
Just managing a finish in the points, having crossed the line in 10th.
No stranger to the podium, the Mexican driver now takes his place after another remarkable race. And finally now the drivers can relax after an eventful weekend at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Okay then, and a big thank you to everyone for joining us this weekend here in Jeddah.
And for the next round, Formula One is heading down under. Exciting times ahead in Australia on the shores of the Albert Park Lake.
Well, there we go then. Challenge complete here with Yuki Tsunoda. That one was really, really good fun, like I said, and a bit more of a unique challenge as well there. But the race moment has been complete, and of course slowly but surely building up my trophy collection inside F1 Manager there. Of course, like I said, I want to try and get every single one we possibly can within this game. Of course, need to get back into the race replays as well. I've done a couple, the exclusive scenarios as well. I've done a couple of these before, but obviously want to try and make sure that I get all of them on video as well. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very, very soon with more F1 Manager content. A massive thank you to all of my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters for their continued donations to help my work. These things go much further than I think a lot of you ever realise, and allow me to continue making content full time here on YouTube. So if you want to support me from as little as £1 a month and be featured on all of these end clips, either click the join button next to the subscribe or head over to my Patreon. There's a link down in the description.